With the new side order trailer dropping just earlier today in the Nintendo Direct, it showed us a lot about gameplay and story, which was super interesting to see. What I'm mainly focused on here is the gameplay, which seems to be a roguelike type Splatoon mode, which is super interesting to hear. Not sure how many people picked up on the fact that this is definitely roguelike type of gameplay. But first of all is the level layout. The level layout is super like condensed, I would say. It's definitely like a battlefield rather than a platforming level. At least they didn't show us any of that. And if there was levels like that, they definitely would have showed it. It would have been very eye-catching and, you know, very marketable in a trailer. So they definitely would have shown that. There's like no clear objective. It's all just like, from what we can see at least, splat the enemies and survive. And it could just be like specific levels like in Octo Expansion and Splatoon 3 Hero Mode, where it was just like a square and fight the enemies or dodge the bullets or whatever. But I doubt it's something like that. The score, when you splat enemies, they give you a score. A little score pops above their head, like when you kill enemies in Mario or Sonic or something. And there's never been a score system like this in Splatoon where it's based on kills. There's kind of been with the power eggs and how many power eggs you get when you kill enemies in hero mode, but it's totally different than that. And it would make sense in a roguelike that they would keep track of your high scores, so you'd keep coming back to it, especially if the whole gameplay is just waves and waves of enemies that you have to defeat. Of course, we saw the upgrade system and the level progression, so the color chips and then the floor elevator selection thing. So of course you can upgrade 8 with the color chips, and they even show us like a palette that has a bunch of chips in it. The floor system is very much like other roguelikes, where you just try and get as high as you can or the furthest level you can, and like games like Spelunky, or when you die, even if you've been playing for an hour and you die, you get sent back to the beginning. We also see you can select an easy, normal, or hard level when you're moving on to the next floor, and you get different rewards, different upgrades. There's definitely going to be a set end floor from where story bits happen, or where the very climax of the story happens in a final level, which will probably be unique. Perhaps something to do with Marina, who knows, right? If this is the case, which it probably is, and this is actually going to be a roguelike, which it probably is, then they're definitely going to have an endless mode. And the reason why I definitely think that, if this is roguelike, is because Shinya Takahashi in the Direct, right after the trailer, said they were trying to make the DLC as replayable as possible.
We're developing this single-player DLC so it can be played over and over again.
Yeah, so this was my brief unscripted thoughts on Side Order, and Side Order being a roguelike, which is super interesting to see in Splatoon, and I'm super hyped for. It sounds like it can work really well as a single player campaign type without redoing Splatoon 3 and Octo Expansion. Because to be honest, seeing Splatoon 3 Hero Mode, much like Octo Expansion, don't get me wrong, it was still very good, but getting something different is definitely super cool to see, and I'm very excited for it.